Friday, Your Majesties. Good morning. How you guys doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. And tomorrow's the 4th of July. What are you guys doing tomorrow for the 4th of July? Let me know. I would like to know. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I'm not so sure. Okay, so I do have a story time for you guys. This one's called The Whispering Walls. And it goes, on the outskirts of the small town in Grayshire stood a grand duplicated mansion. Its once proud facade was now draped in ivy and shadow with broken windows that stared out like empty eyes. The townsfolk avoided the mansion, speaking of it only in hushed tones, it for it was said that the walls within whispered secrets that had driven in previous owners. Oh, and that had wait, whispered secrets that had driven the previous owners to madness before they vanished without a trace. The mansion had been empty for years, its grand halls, parlors left to rot and decay. But the legend of the whispering walls persisted, a story passed down through generations, warning curious souls to stay away. Amelia was not one to heed such warnings. A girl of 15 with a love for mysteries and a thirst for adventure, she had spent much of her young life exploring the forgotten corners of the town, abandoned buildings, overgrown gardens, and like. The mansion, with its grim reputation and eerie silence, was a challenge she could not resist. One stormy afternoon, when the sky was thick with dark clouds and the wind howled through the trees, Amelia set out to explore the mansion. The front gate, rusty and creaking, gave away with a push, and she walked up the overgrown path to the front door. The door was massive, made of dark wood, its surface scarred by time. It creaked loudly as she pushed it open, revealing a dark, dusty interior. The mansion was even more decayed than she had imagined. The grand foyer, once a place of indolence, was covered in a thick layer of dust. The air was cold, carrying the faint of mildew and decay. Amelia's footsteps echoed as she walked through the empty halls, her eyes scanning the faded wallpaper, the broken furniture, and the cobwebs that hung from the ceiling like ghostly curtains. As she moved deeper into the mansion, she began to hear it, the faintest of sounds, like distant whispers just beyond the edge of her hearing. She paused, straining to listen, but the whispers faded into silence. Shaking her head, she continued on, dismissing the sound as nothing more than the wind playing tricks on her mind. But the further she went, the louder the whispers became. They seemed to follow her, growing more distant. Through she still couldn't make out the words. It was as if the walls themselves were speaking, murmuring secrets just beyond her understanding. A shiver ran down her spine, but curiosity drove her forward. The whispers led to a room at the very heart of the mansion, a room she had never heard mentioned in any of the stories. The door was ajar. As she pushed it open, she was met with a blast cold air that sent a chill through her bones. The room was dark, the only light coming from the stormy sky outside filtering through a small grime-covered window. The walls of the room were unlike any she had seen in the mansion. They were covered in strange faded symbols, circles, lines, and patterns that made no sense to her. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and something else, something darker. As she stepped inside, the whispers rose to a cacophony, filling her mind with fragmented thoughts and images that weren't her own. Amelia clutched her head, trying to block out the noise, but the whispers only grew louder, more insistent. Flashes of the mansion's past flooded her mind. She saw grand parties, guests, and elegant attire, laughter echoing through the halls, but then the images shifted, growing darker. Shadows moved through the halls, creeping along the walls like living things. She saw terrified faces of the mansion's former inhabitants, their eyes wide with fear, their mouths open in silent screams. The whispers became voices, one distant yet blending into a terrible chorus. Oh, really? The spoke of betrayal, of anger, of a darkness that had taken hold of the mansion and refused to let go. The walls seemed to pulse with energy, drawing closer, as if they were alive, feeding on her fear. Panic gripped Amelia as she trusted the truth. The whispers were the trapped souls of those who had lived in the mansion, their spirits bound to the walls by a dark curse. They were desperate to be heard, to be free, and they had chosen her as their vessel. Oh, geez. The walls began to close in on her, the symbols glowing faintly with a sickly light. Oh, geez. The whispers were now screams, echoing in her mind, filling her with her pain and despair. She turned to run, but the door slammed shut. The sound like a gunshot in the silent room. She was trapped. Amelia pounded on the door, her screams joining the voices in the room, but there was no escape. The walls pressed closer, the whispers drilling into her mind, breaking her down piece by piece. She could feel herself fading. She can feel herself fading, her thoughts becoming fragmented, her body growing cold. The last thing she heard before everything went dark was the sound of her own voice. Now a part of the endless whispering as her soul was absorbed into the walls. The mansion remained empty, its secrets locked away behind its decaying walls. The whispers continued, but persistent, waiting for the next curious soul to venture inside. The townspeople spoke of the mansion, warning children to stay away, but no one ever dared to enter. The walls of the mansion held too many secrets, and they whispered to anyone brave enough to listen. Holy moly, that is so freaking scary. Okay, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you heard the story. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Princess Peyton. Hit the red button to become your majesty and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I love you guys so much. You guys are the best human beings ever made. And you're the king of my heart in the song lyrics of Taylor Swift. And I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, love you. Bye. Mwah.